You called your husband a disappointment? And your kids? What did the kids do? Oh, I don't know. I feel like this one's gonna be a wild ride. Happy apple picking day! As usual, some quick reminders for all of our friends. If you want a chance for your stories to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send them to my subreddit, r/AmITheBadApple. And just a reminder, we all come from different branches of the apple tree. And what that means is that we've all grown up having different lives, and those different lives and different paths shape our opinions and experiences. Crazy enough, sometimes people who don't experience something don't understand it. And that happens. That's the whole point of talking in the comments and sharing experiences and opinions and just talking about things. Because sometimes someone else's experience can change your mind on a topic, and sometimes your experience can change someone else's mind on a topic. Because we're never too old to learn something new, and that's just kind of how communication works. So without further ado, let's get started with this week's episode of Am I the Bad Apple? Let's go apple picking! Apple number 1. Am I the bad apple for embarrassing a mom on Facebook? I, 29 female, mom of 1, was on Facebook today, and a friend posted a video of a card filled with kids on the way to the lake. All the children except for 1 were strapped in properly with seatbelts and car seats, except the other toddler in the other car seat. The car seat straps were way too loose, and the child lock could rock back and forth, and the kid could literally turn around in the car seat and look at the other kids behind him. Car seat safety says the straps must be tight enough to where you can just fit your fingers underneath. Thinking of the worst case scenario, I commented this in a very nice and respectful way, and I wish them to have fun and stay safe with a few upbeat emojis. But the friend, I guess, took it the wrong way and took offense to my comment. I did my best to clear it up, that there was no judgment or me trying to be rude. I just wanted to make sure they were aware of the situation so it could be fixed. Though none of his children have ever been hurt, it doesn't mean drivers can't be unpredictable and accidents can happen. I told my fiance about it, and he basically said that he knows my heart was in the right place, but I should have just minded my own business. So now I'm not really sure if I did the right thing. Am I the bad apple? Oh my gosh. Y'all, we all know I don't have kids, okay? I don't know what it's like to be a mom. I don't know what it's like to be in charge of like a little human's life. Like all I got is like the life of this nugget right here and her brother. But let me tell you, I've seen some interesting posts on Facebook of like some people just like, oh my gosh, look at what my kid's doing. And it's like clearly something that's dangerous or really unsanitary, or like something that I definitely would not post online personally. Or like, you know, maybe instead of taking a picture of them doing that, maybe you just like stop the dangerous behavior. Like, you just feel like that would be the smart thing to do. But I never know if saying something is appropriate or not, because like I don't want to shame any moms or anything. It's not like I'm even a mom to like, you know, have that experience or like relate in any way. Like I don't want it to come off the wrong way, but let me tell you, I've seen some things. So I would also like our moms to weigh in down in the comments of what they think about this, because like I'm interested. I want to know, because I feel like shouldn't the safety of the child come before the like feelings of the parent? Like, is that, I feel like I can already hear the keyboards like going and clicking. I feel like that should be the priority, like the safety of the kid. But if that's not correct, you guys let me know. Like I've never actually like left a comment like that, because I was always worried about stepping on toes also. So like don't come for me if that's the wrong opinion to have. Like I haven't done it. But just let me know, because I'm also curious. So like as of right now, I'm going good apple, because I feel like the opinion should be safety of the kid in front of like feelings of the parent. Personally, you let me know, because I'm nervous that's wrong. Vixie, is that wrong? Yeah, I'm sorry. I know you don't like your face touched, but you had some hair about to go into your eye, and I just wanted to get that for you. I'm trying to be considerate. I will pet your belly. Hello, thank you. Apple number 2. Am I the bad apple for teaching my daughter to be greedy? Yesterday, my sister hosted a family dinner at her house. It was one of those just because dinners, so no special occasion or anything. My sister's a great cook and she made tons of food for that one night. My daughter was on her second plate by the end of the night. Once she finished, she asked if she could get another and I said yes. But then my sister, my daughter's aunt, looked at her with a shocked expression and said, "Another plate?" My daughter turned around and gave a somewhat uncomfortable look. My daughter is 16 and has 2 part-time jobs to help pay for some of her college tuition, so she doesn't usually eat until 7 or 8 p.m. So I didn't even blink twice when she got up to go grab her third plate. I turned to my sister and said, "She's been working all day and she hasn't had anything to eat, like all day. She's probably starving. You made tons of food. It won't hurt for her to get another plate." Well, then my sister started yelling, saying something about how it wasn't my place to say if my daughter could get more of the food she made. Now, I guess I somewhat agree with that, and I might be the jerk because of it, but looking back, maybe I should have asked her first. My daughter ended up not getting another plate and the vibe was kind of awkward after that, so we just decided to go. Before we left out the door, my daughter stopped me and told me that I should have taught my daughter manners and how it isn't right to get more than 1 plate at someone else's house and that I'm teaching her to be greedy. I told my sister she was being ridiculous, and somehow our voices got loud enough to where my mom started hearing us in the small corner and came over and started yelling at me, saying that she agreed with my sister that it was rude for my daughter to eat that many plates. I just got fed up when they told me that I wasn't teaching her proper manners, so I left. Then, of course, they started texting me, saying how it was rude to leave in the middle of a conversation. I don't think I was the jerk for leaving, because I wasn't going to stay in a place where I felt disrespected, but I'm not really sure about the plate thing. Was I the bad apple? I know, I'll pitch you more in a moment. Okay, I have some thoughts, and I feel like people's answers are going to really depend on the kind of dynamic they had growing up at their house, if that makes sense. But here are my thoughts. First of all, and I have a lot of different thoughts, okay? First of all, in my family, there's like such an emphasis on, do you need more food? You want to go get another plate? Are you good? Can I get you anything else? Do you need anything else? Do you want to take some stuff home? Like that's the household that I grew up in. So like hearing going to your family's house, like this is her aunt, and this is just like they clearly just a because dinner, just because, like, so they must do that often, like it's just a casual thing. Even when we go to one of my best friends, Anna, she's been one of my best friends for 25 years. Literally every holiday or major event during the year, like our families get together and like we all eat, right? I can't imagine being at my family's or being at Anna's family's and like not being able to get enough food, because that's just not how I was raised. That's not what getting together with loved ones was like when I was growing up. Like everyone's like, have as much food as you can, and if there's still some left over, please take some home. Like that's how I grew up. So that would already, like, that's not the vibe that I love, in my opinion. And it's okay if you grew up differently. There's not a right or wrong. That's just not how I grew up, first of all. Second of all, I was raised to believe that it was much more rude to like fill up your first plate and then not eat it all and like throw it away than to take smaller plates and go back and get more if you're hungry. Like in my opinion, wasting food is way more rude than like doing a little bit at a time. And so long as that everyone else had already gotten food, it's not like she was taking food and someone else hadn't eaten, and it didn't seem like that was the case. Like I would never question that. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I saw someone constantly going back and getting more food, like I don't even know, it wouldn't even like cross my mind to think something of it. You know what I mean? Like other than, gosh, have you gotten enough to eat today? Like you really should, like, I know she said that she was working all day, but like you really should prioritize like getting a snack during the day. Like you must be starving. Are you okay? Like that's where my concern would be. Like, are you good during the day? Can I bring you lunch to work? Like, are you not eating during the day? So that, like that, you know what I mean? Like that's just where my brain would be if I saw someone getting food, not the, oh my God, is she getting more? Like that's just so weird. And for like family to be concerned, like that's just not how I grew up is all. It's fine. And if those are the kind of ideals that this mom is teaching her daughter, you know. I don't, like, that's how I grew up. Like, I don't see anything wrong with it. No, like, you guys might have a different opinion than me, but that's just how I grew up. Like, feeling at home when you're at family's house, being able to feel comfortable enough to where you can, like, eat as much as you need to sustain your body, as long as you know everyone else has also had a chance to eat, and taking a little bit of at a time instead of filling your plate all at once and then throwing it away later. Like, to me, these are fine. There's nothing wrong with that in my opinion. Now, the last thing that I really want to talk about is at the end. First off, for the grandma to jump in and, like, insist that her grandbaby doesn't need to be getting enough food to fill her up, like, that's so crazy to me. Like, my grandparents, both my grandmothers, I'm fortunate enough to have both sides of my grandmothers that are alive and well. Oh my God, I can't get them to stop trying to feed me, you know? Like, my Softa, oh, Rebecca Lay, so picky, eat, like, she's so cute, I love her. She makes some interesting things, and they're good. Sometimes I just hesitate for a second, and now I'm deemed picky for the rest of my life. It's fine, it is what it is. That's what happened. You know, she's from another country. She makes dishes that I'm not used to, and that's fine. I just don't blame me for hesitating a moment and, like, looking at it before I dive in. Like, sometimes I need a second. I think that's normal. Anyways, for the aunt and the grandmother, or I guess the sister and the mom, to then, like, gang up on the woman and be like, it's rude to leave in the middle of a conversation. No. That's called boundaries. 1000%. If you start making me feel uncomfortable in the middle of a conversation, I will excuse myself. I will leave. For you, like, the audacity to say, oh, no, we're gonna talk about this and you're not allowed to leave. No, I've been put in that situation before. It will never happen again. If I'm uncomfortable with the situation, I will leave. And if you don't like it, then communicate differently with me. Sorry, like, if you're gonna make me feel uncomfortable and you don't care about that, but you care about me taking myself away to where you can't just talk at me and make me uncomfortable, that's a you problem. I'm so sorry about it. So I'm going good apple for the mom here. I'm so disappointed in her family. Like, that's just not how I was raised. That's not how my family works. People can run their families how they want to run their families, but that's not how mine works. So, from my experience and my perspective, I'm going good apple. Apple number 3. Am I the bad apple for refusing to pay an artist for their work? My friend is a painter, and I've seen her work, and it's beautiful. I asked if she was willing to paint a portrait of me and my husband in our wedding outfits. I thought it would be a good 1-year anniversary gift. Again, I've seen her work, and she can do crazy good realist paintings of people. She asked for a reference photo, and I gave her a few pictures and gave her a $300 deposit. In total, we agreed on a total of $700. She showed me the painting yesterday, and my husband looked great, but I looked completely different. In short, she sexualized me, and I find it gross. The painting has me with huge boobs. I don't really have any. I'm just kind of an A cup. And my wedding dress is showing much more skin and cleavage. And she even added a split to my dress to show off more leg. It didn't look like any of the photos that I gave her. And again, I found it kind of gross. I told her I'm not gonna be paying her and that she needs to fix it or she can just keep it. This caused a huge argument, and she thinks I'm a jerk for not paying, and I pointed out all the stuff above. Well, now it's going around with my friends, and some think I'm being petty, and others are standing by me. So, am I the bad apple? I have actually never commissioned an artist for art or paintings or anything like that before, so I don't actually know what, like, the norms are. I don't know what etiquette is in that field. So I'm definitely gonna be listening down to some of the comments of people who are artists, people who have worked with artists or hired artists or anything like that. From the zero to slim to none knowledge that I have on this kind of thing, because again, I have no experience with this, I would assume that if you're like, she paid a deposit and she said, I want this photo based off of this photo. And if it's not based off that photo, like if she changed it, I would assume that it's reasonable to say, hey, I want this fixed or I'm not paying you. Now, something that I am confused about is like, is she saying I'm not paying for it, period, and I want you to fix it? Or is she saying that if you fix it, I'll pay you? That wasn't really clear to me. Like, you know what I mean? And it might have just been something that I'm not understanding, or maybe she like mistyped or something, I don't know. But that to me is a really big, important thing. I can't think of the word I'm thinking of, or the phrase. It's like a phrase. You know what I mean? I can't think of the phrase. But like for me, if she's saying I'm not going to pay at all and I still want you to fix it, that to me is unreasonable. I feel like it would be normal for anyone to say I'm not paying you until you fix it. So I'm going to assume that's what she's meaning and that it's just late and I'm misunderstanding. But I always like to see the best in people and I always like to assume they're doing good things. So that's what we'll go with. And if you guys like really think that I'm wrong and she's saying like, no, she doesn't want to pay for it at all and she still wants it to be fixed, let me know because that'll change my answer for sure. But assuming she's not, assuming she's just wanting like her painting to look the way to look so she can finish paying her, I am gonna go good apple. Because again, like if you're paying for a painting that looks a certain type of way and the style of the dress is changed, the body is changed, like I think that's reasonable to say like, no, that's not, that's like more of a dramatized, caricaturedized version of me that's not me. And I think that is fair to not want that hanging on your wall, to want like a realistic version of yourself, you know? And like clearly she's able to do that because the husband looks great. So like why is the wife's body all different? I think they're valid questions. But again, I don't know anything about this, so if like, let me know if I'm being rude, let me know if I'm stepping on toes, let me know if that's not how things work, or like, you know, I don't know. Again, no one's too old to learn something new, and I just have never commissioned art like that before. So again, I'm gonna go good apple for now, but just know that you guys down in the comments could definitely change my answers. Apple number 4. Am I the bad apple for calling my husband and kids a disappointment? I, 36 female, married my husband, 35 male, about 8 years ago. We have 2 kids, 6 male and 7 female, and it's been great until Father's Day. So basically, my husband never celebrates me on Mother's Day. He only celebrates his mom. Which, you know, I don't mind him celebrating his mother if he also celebrated me, the mother of his children, but he doesn't. And so the kids also don't say Happy Mother's Day or do anything. It's always, let's go celebrate Grandma, or Grandma would love that. But my husband always expects a big bash for Father's Day. Well, I decided that this year, I'm only celebrating my dad, who's 73. I left a note on our kitchen table stating where I was going, and my husband told me to have fun and that he's expecting his big bash when I get back. Well, I didn't come back until 7 o'clock in the evening, and when I came back, my husband and kids started yelling at me, saying that Dad wanted to be celebrated, but you only celebrated Grandpa. Why are you being so mean? That's so rude. Why would you do that? I admit, I snapped, and I told them right to their faces, well, at least I'm not a disappointment. I'll admit, I'm not super proud of that statement. You can lighten up on me in the comments. But anyways, then they started crying, and ever since I've been receiving the silent treatment, so I just need to know. Was I the bad apple? You had me in the first half. You really did. Because I feel like I've been seeing a lot of that on social media of like moms kind of putting their foot down because they do so much for fathers. Not like everywhere, but I've seen this theme on social media of people raising awareness or bringing, you know, awareness to the fact that in some households, moms really do so much for Father's Day and blah, blah, blah. And then when it comes to Mother's Day, it's always like, well, what do you want to do? Well, are you going to plan what you want to do? Well, are you going to do, like, you know? So, like, I'm all for bringing awareness to that and putting your foot down and, like, demanding, like, no, I should be taken care of. I should be celebrated. Like, those things, you know what I mean? Like, I think that is great. I don't love how this was gone about. if that makes sense. Because, like, first of all, I don't see anywhere in the story where you, like, verbalized out loud, like, hey, why don't we ever do anything for me on Mother's Day? I didn't see anywhere where you said you had a conversation about it and he, like, just shut you down, right? Like, have you brought it up to him? Have you talked about it? Have you said anything about it? Like, does he even realize that it's an issue? Like, communication is key, you know? Second of all, your children are what, 6 and 7 years old? Like, you think they understand to the point where, like, telling them that it's their fault that you don't get the Mother's Day that you want is appropriate? Like, I don't like that. I feel like that, and I don't have kids, so, like, I don't know what age they're developed enough to be able to, like, choose to do something on their own for Mother's Day or even realize on their own it's Mother's Day. Like, I am kind of under the impression that kids at that age are looking to their parents to set that kind of example. And if their dad isn't doing anything for you for Mother's Day and you're not speaking up and verbalizing and, like, demanding that kind of celebration for yourself, why would they know to do that? They wouldn't. Again, like, I don't have kids. I don't know how that stuff works, but that's, like, where my brain goes. So, like, I don't like that the kids were roped into that. I don't hate that you just didn't celebrate Father's Day for your husband. Again, I don't like that there was no communication and then you just blew up at them. And I feel like this was gone about the wrong way. And I can't decide between crab apple and bad apple. Because again, the idea is there and I agree with that. But I don't like the way that it was brought about, and I really don't like the way that the kids were roped into it, especially at such a young age. Like, 6 and 7 feels too young to be, like, yelling at them and blaming them for not getting the Mother's Day that you want. You know? That's young. I think I'm on the basis of the kids, like, the kids part really crosses the line for me. Like, to yell that they're a disappointment. What? Is that, like, 6 is what, kindergarten or first grade? They barely know, like, what the actual date is. They barely know if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or is it February or July. Like, they don't know. So, for me personally, involving the kids like that does kind of push it over into the bad apple category. Again, the idea is there, but I feel like there were so many missteps in getting that point across. And then again, for me, like, the kids part kind of crosses that line. And it might not for you, so you might go crab apple instead, and that's totally okay. But for me, the kids part kind of crosses the line, so I am gonna go bad apple on that one. And I definitely think you guys could convince me on to crab apple instead. Especially, like, again, I don't see anywhere where you even said to the kids, like, do you want to do something with mommy for Mother's Day? Do you want to tell mommy happy? Like, I'm not seeing anywhere that you had any communication with anyone until you told your 6 and 7-year-old that they were disappointments because they're doing what their dad wants them to do, or they're following their dad's lead. Like, I definitely think the husband is in the wrong. I wish you communicated with him first, you know, and actually told him that this was an issue. I still think he's in the wrong. The kids are just doing what their parent is telling them to do. And, you know, like, your husband is definitely advocating for himself. Like, I want Father's Day. Like, the kids are all about it. Dad wants Father's Day. So I feel like if you communicated that to them too, they would be just as enthusiastic for Mother's Day. But again, I'm not seeing anywhere in the story that you did, and then you just told your children that they were disappointments because they can't read your brain. Like, they're 6 and 7-year-old boys. Like, oh, sorry, the 7-year-old is a girl. But still. So that is my thoughts. And again, I think there's a lot of stories today that y'all can sway me on one way or another, but these are my initial thoughts at 3 a.m. All right, so I got 3 good apples and a bad apple. Just like I've been saying, I think there's a bunch that you guys can sway me on. So definitely let me know down in the comments. Do you think I need to change one? Did you get anything similar to me? Did you get something completely different? I love to hear all y'all's thoughts. And just a reminder, if you want a chance for your stories to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send them to my subreddit, r/AmITheBadApple. And for your well wishes today, it is National Pecan Pie Day, and it is also National Radio Day. So turn on the tunes and enjoy some delicious pie. And let me know, my mom, listen, if you're someone that says pecan, you're not allowed to enjoy a good pecan pie today. You just can't. You don't appreciate it. You don't appreciate it. You don't appreciate a good chocolate pecan pie, because that's the proper way to say it, okay? I said what I said. I said what I said. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and hope to see y'all next week. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah.